Hello there! Welcome back to Halloween Horror Month. Well, alright. So I'm gonna be frank. You be whoever you want to be, but I'm gonna be frank. So, I've already said this twice, maybe three times. I like to give movies that people are shitting on the benefit of the doubt. Okay? Like the benefit of the doubt. I've already done it three times, horror wise, for this month alone. Night Swift, Imaginary, and The Strangers Chapter 1. I all gave the benefit of the doubt when I watched them. Night Swift, don't think it's as bad as people say. Imaginary, it's bad, but I don't think it's that bad. Strangers Chapter 1 might be worse than what people say. To be honest. Stop motion's in there somewhere, and that just didn't hold my attention at all. This one, you know that movie from 2014, 10 years ago? Ouija? Or Ouija, or however people pronounce it, Ouija? Take that, replace the Ouija board with tarot cards. Movie! Yes, that's right. That's pretty much all it is. Only that was Universal. This is Sony. Yes, the same studio that gave us Slender Man. In fact, the same production too, Screen Gems. It's always great to see that. And the first trailer that popped up when I put in a DVD was the Insidious Chapter 5 or Insidious 5, the red door. So that's the clue. This felt like it was written 10 years ago, sat on a shelf, someone tossed it up and say, hey, let's do this. Or somebody from the studio was watching Ouija the other night and said, hey, you know that movie that came out almost 10 years ago called Ouija? What if we did that, but not that? What if we added something else instead of a Ouija board? It's like someone got their hands on the Ouija script and added tarot instead of Ouija board. Tarot cards. Because I kid you not, it feels very similar. The ending is not like a dead ghost doesn't come back to help the two main characters that's left. No, and it's a guy and a girl there, the two that's left. It's one of those PG-13 horror films they throw out there with one famous face in it. That being Jacob Batalon from the MCU Spider-Man movies. Ned. He's in this. I swear to God, there was one point in this movie where I was just like, fuck it, I'm turning this off. You've got to be kidding me. We are doing this. So, a group of friends ran out a mansion because that's what you do. They ran out a mansion for the friend's birthday party, like you do. Although, they try to trick you because you start off in the woods and they're complaining about the mosquitoes. And they're like, oh, you know what? Let's go into this $1 billion mansion we just rented. So they go in there. First of all, who rents mansions? And who are they renting it from? I was expecting at some point for them to call the person they rented it from to get an explanation. Instead, they call this famous astrologist lady, who, by the way, is the Sally Hardesty, Jamie Lee Curtis stand-in from the Texas Chainsaw reboot from 2 years ago. That actually wasn't as bad as people say. That was actually not bad. I really liked that, except for that part with her. They were just trying to cash in on the Jamie Lee Curtis stuff. Let's do that. Sally Hardesty was never that, but whatever. Yeah. They call this astrology chick, and she's like, oh, there was this count and his wife, and there was an astrologist there, and the astrologist predicted that the wife and the child would die, and they both died in childbirth. And, they kept telling her, the Count kept telling her to change it. I can't change it. I cannot. And then they died. So then he killed her, but he killed her daughter. Justice? Would it be justified? And not really, but in his eyes, wouldn't it make more sense to kill both of them off? Because that's what. Then she wouldn't feel the loss though, so I don't know. So she curses this deck of cards and uses it on him and all of his friends, and they all die one by one. And then there's this whole thing. First of all, she explains where the cards were before she explains the actual story of what happened. She explains in 1955 this happened. This time this happened. In 1988 this happened. And there was one survivor. It's me, Mario. And then, yeah. By the way, this woman's like 70 years old. How the hell was she a young adult in 1988? Right? Or is she my mom's age? My mom in 1988 was 18 years old. So, or 19. She was 19 years old in 1988. She had me when she was 17, and then she gave birth, and then turned 18 in that April. So, yeah. But yeah, they do go through all that and explains that she's connected, and then she tells a story about. Shouldn't you tell the story about the Count first, and then tell where it goes from there? It's backwards. But yeah, this is how it works, okay? Go back to the mansion at the beginning here. Haley, most stereotypical female main character name ever. Apparently she does tarot readings. So she does readings for all of them and gives them all the things, and that's how they die. Like, she gets ready to start, she shuffles the deck, and then she's like, you know, you're not supposed to use other people's decks. And I'm just like, okay. Again, back to Ouija. Don't play alone. The rules, you know, they're trying to do that. Don't play alone. Never play in a graveyard. Always say goodbye. But I guess the one rule we gotta know here is don't play other people's decks. I don't know. I really don't know. I know. So they all she pretty much, I don't know, there's like 6 people, and she lays out all 6 people how they're going to die. Right? This one girl, she gets killed by a ladder. Something that would be pretty cool. Something that was cool in Final Destination 2. However, since this is PG-13, I didn't mean to go into an accent, but I said these. Since this is PG-13, we can't see anything. And what gets me is that the description on Wikipedia says they all die gruesome deaths. Amazing that you know that, because we never see anything. And what's even more confusing is that this says they get bludgeoned with the ladder. And then they show the face, and there's not a goddamn mark on it, on her face, because it's PG-13. The only blood we get is a spatter on the phone. And then there's no blood anywhere on her face, because it's PG-13. You can't show that. Next, dude who I thought was going to be final guy in this gets hit by a train. So, the cops that are investigating, again, a horror movie where the cops do butt kiss throughout the entire damn film, because cops can't do anything. Although, in this case, they really can't because it's mystical. But anyway, the first time they say it's an accident, which, okay, I can get that. But then when the guy on the train dies, they're like, oh, it was a pretty bad accident. And I'm like, really? What, he just decide, I'm going to step in front of the train. But how did trip? Oh, there's no signs of foul play. Okay. And then what's even more is the conversation they have, right? They're ready to dismiss their first friend's accident, but this one, is all like, oh, something's going on. Something's going on. And another one of them, I think Jacob Batalon, is like, oh, it's an accident. It happens, you know. And I'm just like, really? He died exactly how they said he was gonna die, basically. Like this train, like I just don't get it. I don't get it. And so, fast forward to where they learn from this lady what is all happening, the story of the Count, and all of that. Now's the time. They're like, okay, we gotta go back to the mansion. We gotta destroy the cards. Ned over here. No. I'm not doing that. This is not true. Some crazy lady tells you this. You gotta do what she says. No. I'm going back home. Why? Why are you going back? I'll be in my dorm and I'll be safe. What? Let me tell you something. I watch enough horror movies to know that anytime you split up is not good at all. And what's worse about this is the revelation of what actually happens. You know, his thing was about escalating numbers, many ups and downs. One door opens, another door closes. Elevate. So he goes back to his dorm building, gets in the elevator, stuff starts to happen. By the way, his thing is the fool. So of course in the elevator you hear, everybody plays the fool sometimes. By the way, they do this weird thing in each of the kills. For some reason, they play the audio of when she was reading the cards over when the deaths are about to happen. That's annoying. Don't do that. Don't do that. So we're led to believe that Ned dies, and then we follow the last three at the mansion. They try to burn the cards, and in spite of that's what the lady told him to do, it doesn't work. Why? Because we still got a half hour left in the movie, and I hate that. I hate that. And again, if you want to compare it to Ouija, it's similar, but not similar enough, where it's like Doris said, not Doris, what's her name? Lena said, oh, you have to stop Mother, and you'll end it. But that doesn't end it. We still got a half hour of it left, but that's not why. It's a trick. Here, the lady, it's not a trick. She basically says you have to go there and you have to burn the cards. Right? Doesn't work. So, they call her, and she is going to stop them happening. She summons the ghost to try to make it stop. Of course, it doesn't work because we still got a half hour, like I said. So instead, the evil astrology ghost lady kills the living astrology lady. And then we got the last three trying to survive. Their other friend dies, and we're down to the two boyfriend and ex-girlfriend. The two exes, girlfriend and boyfriend. Guys, I haven't mentioned it because I don't care. They played up at the beginning, and like, first of all, it's 20 minutes before the title card pops up, and they're like, oh, I can't believe they broke up, because they're playing the game of most likely to, and they're like, oh, most likely to get married, and like, nah, we broke up. I can't believe they broke up. I can't believe I don't care. Because when they do stuff like this, you know, by the end of the movie, something's going to happen where they get back together. There's either two ways you go. They get back together, or one of them sacrifices himself for the other one. There's also a thing with Haley's mom's death, and she's got to get over. I don't fucking know. But while the devil takes boyfriend for a ride, she then decides the only way to stop this evil astrology ghost witch is to then use the cards on the witch, in which she pulls out the death card and kills the already dead witch ghost. And that breaks the curse. Just when you think, okay, at least it's over. It's over now, just end it. It appears they're getting back together. Cool! Don't care. Let's end this movie. A car approaches. And inside is Ned. Okay. Like, they don't explain, why did you do explain how he survived? It's absolutely fucking stupid. We'll get to it. How do you know that they were there? Well, I guess she did say they were going to the mansion, so fuck me, right? So they're in the car, they talk a little bit, it's over. How do you know it's over? Because it is. We brought the curse. Okay. Starts going to credits, come back. Wait a minute. How did you survive? Now that's what I want to know. Apparently, he had a very good time. No. Apparently, the fool stopped coming after him. Because his roommate pressed the button and opened the elevator. That's not how that works. It's a curse. The curse is not going to stop because somebody pushed the elevator button. If anything, it's going to do jack shit because he's cursed. Have you seen a horror movie ever? This has someone reading the script and saying, you can't kill him up. Reading the script and say, okay, we can do that. And then they hired Jacob Batalon and said, he's our biggest star, you can't kill him off. What? The guy that's playing this character, it's Jacob Batalon. He's our biggest star. He's the only one people know in this movie. You can't kill him off. So they had to write an excuse for him to come up at the end. I feel like this movie was supposed to end with the two of them getting back together, maybe sitting outside having a kiss and then credits, right? That's what it feels like. It should have just ended after they survived, but they added this in there because Jacob Batalon was hired and they can't kill off the most well-known cast member. That's what it feels like. They make all the credits that has a song, I can't believe I made it, or some shit like that. That's what everyone else was saying when this movie was over. I can't believe I made it through this fucking movie. Trash. Not worth your time. Not worth your time. Why is it not frying in hell? Because hell, like Fantasy Island and Truth or Dare before it, it could be something I could put in the background. Just to have in the background while I'm fucking around an Xbox or some shit. Whatever. But I would not recommend it. Do not seek this out. Do not buy it. Right, I bought it, but I did it for the channel, for the review, right? Yeah, okay. Not worth your time. Where's a pen so I can scratch this off? Not that. Great. But I always miss. It's right here. I'm starting to regret how I schedule things because next is a Shudder movie that I'm pretty sure is not gonna probably on par with this one. I don't know if it's good. Sometimes they can surprise you, but I don't think so. Anyway, what are your thoughts on Tarot? No, I didn't make the joke, but I could have. This movie's terrible. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.